Oh man. Okay. Auburn drops the series against Georgia.
You are Locked On Auburn, your daily podcast on the Auburn Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Oh, man. It was a low-scoring affair game one. That was not the case tonight. Auburn drops it 9-7 against Georgia. And Auburn had some runs in them, Darrell, but it just wasn't enough. And that first inning was detrimental. And boy, did you call it yesterday, Darrell. Can Alvarez get through the first with no damage? And if the answer to that would have been yes, Auburn walks away with that one. But that first inning was, Auburn found themselves in just this massive hole, and props to them. They kept trying to dig themselves out of it. The hole was just too deep.
Yeah, a 5-run first is just fatal against this team. And you watch how Georgia plays defense, and you really, other than that miscue in center field, which was so uncharacteristic of this team because they do such a good job of limiting runs. But when you give up 5 and you put yourself in that hole, if you would have told me, Zach, that Auburn was going to score 7 runs tonight, I'd have taken that all day and thought they would have won the game. That inning where they scored 4. They scored 4 to cut the lead to 8-6.
Yeah, bottom of the 5th.
I still feel like they left a run or two on the board. And what I mean by that is with bases loaded and Ballou up, you're running on the pitch. Darrell, Bub was at third when the second baseman put a glove on the ball. He gets up, throws it to first. It gets away from the first baseman. He's got to score there. He's got to score there. Now, it ended up, thankfully, that run wasn't that big because they lost by 2.
Right.
But could you imagine if that would have been an 8-7 game? And, so it's little things like that they're just doing at the most inopportune time of the year.
Yeah. And how much of it is, okay, they're not playing well as they have been during this incredible run that they've gone on over the last, 6 weekends prior to this? And how much of it is Georgia, despite their ranking, they're the class of college baseball right now. Not the best RPI ranking. Okay, whatever. Strength of schedule's been whatever. But this team has won a ton of SEC games. And how much of it is, Darrell, is Georgia's the class of college baseball right now, and Auburn's, they're right there. They're right there. They're so close. And when it comes to, hosting regionals and super regionals, they're not going to face a team like Georgia.
Yeah, that's a good point. Georgia's won, I think that's their 4th or 5th SEC series they've won on the road. So when you're winning series on the road,
unbelievably good baseball team.
that is a top 2, top 3 team, and you're right there, right there, both games. And so I just think that, you're not going to see – Auburn did a good job of knocking their starter out of the game in the 5th inning. I think they left him in one batter too long. He was going to get pulled, and he talked himself into staying, and then ended up being big that he stayed in the game. So I don't know. I still just don't like the approach. I think Guevara, who's a big bat for you right now, is chasing. He looks lost at the plate. All you got to do is throw him sliders or cutters, and he's not going to, get a piece of it. I'm glad to see Bub going the other way with that monster home run, listening to Josh Donaldson and shortening up his stroke. But I don't know, little things. Georgia seemed to do the little things again, other than that stupid error in center field. And Auburn just, they got it. Other than that one inning, they're not stringing at bats together to get, 1 run here, 2 runs there. You need that big inning. They got it once tonight, but I think in this scenario, the pitching, let them down a little bit with those home runs.
Yeah. And I'm trying to find how many guys we left on today, because I feel like it was a lot.
Oh, yeah. You left.
I feel like there was a run there where we were leaving 2 runners on every
it could be double
inning.
digits because, they left, they left bases loaded in the 5th.
Yeah.
They sure didn't leave anybody on in the 9th. My goodness. I'm glad I didn't have to get a drink of water. It was so fast. They left 7 on base. And so did Georgia. So, and give Cormier a ton of credit. He saved the bullpen tonight. He came in and did a
Cormier
great
is a
job.
baller, man.
Yeah,
He's
that was
baller.
a big outing for him.
4 2/3 for him.
Yeah, and he gave up 1 run, right? Just a home run.
If you would have given us any of that stat line as an option, we would all have been like, yeah, I'll take that. I'll take
and
that.
that dude, that was down and in. It wasn't a bad pitch. He
He's
just
a
crushed
freshman,
it.
right?
He is. He
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe a starter next year, possibly.
Should be. I mean, you saw him get stretched tonight.
He's good.
Do well.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's got that swag to him. I love that kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, the big question is, and it's impossible for us to answer. I mean, we can speculate, right? But how much of this is Auburn starting to decline, or is Georgia just really freaking good? And they talked about it towards the end of the broadcast, where it just became like, all right, let's talk about how good Georgia is, which they deserve it. They're incredible. Like what they've done so far. Like, yeah, what they've done in conference play. Like, can Georgia win a national championship is what the TV broadcast was talking about. And like just watching the last 2 nights, like, yeah, I think they can. Like, they're as good of any team. And I mean, I think they're better than any team Auburn's played this year.
Yeah, I think the answer to that is both. You know, I like to say it, 2 things can be true at once. I think they're really, really good, but I also am a little concerned about the way Auburn's playing right now, because both those games were winnable. And so, you know, I just think that there's another level.
Do you feel that way more tonight or last night? Because last night I was like, uh-oh. Tonight I'm more like, okay, Alvarez had a really bad first inning.
Mm-hmm. You throw that first inning out, Auburn wins the game. But there's 9 of them, so you can't really do that. But I get what you're saying, and we talked about it, like you said last night. You got to get through that first inning. I think tomorrow is huge. I mean, I just have said all along, I mean, the way you saw ESPN or SEC Network put up those, they had Auburn 4th as far as a national host. I don't think they dropped 4 spots, getting swept by the best team in the SEC if that was to happen. But I think just to make sure, you need to win one. And,
right.
You know, and I think that solidifies it. I mean, my opinion, well, again, the SEC tournament has a lot to do. But I think even if Auburn went out of the SEC tournament early, they would still solidify a 5th seed, or, you know, maybe a 6th seed if they win tomorrow. So,
yeah, I mean, I said going into the weekend, I think Auburn had done enough, but it'd be really nice to win. It'd be really great to win 2. Obviously, that's not going to happen. Winning 1 would solidify it. Let's discuss what could be next for the Tigers in just a moment, right here on this live edition of Locked On Auburn. Today's show brought to you by our friends at Rocket Money. Darrell, we've both used Rocket Money, and it's fantastic. And as far as, okay, here's where my money's going. Not only does it list all of the subscriptions for you, the regular occurring payments that are leaving your bank account, but it also categorizes your spending. Food, miscellaneous items, grocery, gas. I mean, a bunch of miscellaneous spending as far as like, okay, this is probably stuff we could cut back on. Rocket Money is a really great tool.
It's a great budget tool, and not only in eliminating unnecessary expenses, if by instance you have 2 subscriptions, or you're getting double charged for something that you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
You can look at it and go, you know what, that's just excessive. Let's cut that out.
Right. Yeah, it kind of makes it a little bit real for you. We're like, you know what? Okay. All right. Like, I don't need this. Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join at rocketmoney.com/lockedon. That is rocketmoney.com/lockedon. All right. A few more minutes as we react. If you guys have any questions or comments, drop it in the live chat. I'll address a few of those in just a moment. But so this is not updated through tonight, but after losing last night, Auburn dropped. They plummeted in the RPI, Darrell. They went from the number 2 team in the RPI all the way to the number 3 team in the RPI. Of course, I'm being sarcastic.
Which makes no sense to me. I can't wrap my head around that. When you lose to, I mean, I guess Georgia was below Auburn in RPI, but still, I mean, in a close game like that, it just, the metrics really confuse me.
RPI always seems a little made up to me. I'm not going to lie to you.
It does. It does.
I mean, we lost to Jack State on
and
Tuesday.
We went up
from 3 to 2, right?
Exactly. So I just
Georgia Tech lost to somebody, but I just can't imagine. And we've said this in the coming weeks. I don't want to adjust just because we're losing to Georgia. Like we said this going into it. Same with the basketball postseason tournament. We see RPI tend to matter more than what the polls say. And look, the polls are kind to Auburn too. Don't get me wrong, but RPI has been incredibly kind to Auburn over the last, several months of the season. So we'll see how much they slip. I don't see them slipping much more than that in RPI. And so, somebody asked in the chat earlier about, what kind of impact could this have as far as a national seed? We all agreed going into it that one win would lock it up. Can Petrovic get us there tomorrow? Yes, absolutely. We've seen how this team is handled. I mean, they've been like one play away the last two. And once again, I think a lot of it is Georgia being really good, not us being bad. I think a lot of it is Georgia's the best team in college baseball right now. I know that the pollsters love UCLA. I get it. That's fine. From what I've seen the last two nights, I don't think there's a better team than Georgia right now.
It's hard to gauge that. And I tend to agree with you because Georgia plays in such a tougher baseball conference than UCLA does. I mean, the Big Ten is just not, you know what I'm saying? They're not the USC is in the Big Ten, but the Big Ten is not a good baseball conference. If UCLA was still in the old Pac-12, yes, with Oregon and Arizona State and Arizona and USC, really good teams. I think Georgia's played a much tougher schedule. They're in a much better conference. And so I would put them ahead of UCLA. Who surprised me is where they've got Georgia Tech slotted at number two.
Number two in RPI.
And that's a team that Auburn split with and beat their eyes out at Plainsman Park. I mean, it wasn't close.
Well, look at the number two. Let me confirm it's the number two team. Okay, third team. USC is 8. But Nebraska is 12th in RPI, which is the number 3 team in the Big Ten. And Auburn took care of business against that Nebraska team. So
where's Florida State? Where's Florida State's RPI? I thought they were top.
7th.
And did Auburn beat them in Arlington?
Yes.
So I mean, look at the teams that Auburn's beat in the top 10 RPI, and I think that's where the tale will be told, my friend. I think that's why I don't think there's anything they could do. I want to wrap it up, but I don't think there's anything they could do to fall out of that top 8.
All right, Jackson, I'm assuming you're true here. Jackson says we're 5 right now in RPI. We'd fall to 6 with a loss tomorrow and a Florida State win. So regardless, that still puts you in the conversation for a national seed. We'll see what happens. And I can't imagine, good or bad, next week impacts it. Let's say Auburn wins 2 games next week. I don't think it changes the seeding. Let's say Auburn's one and done. I don't think it changes the seeding next week.
It's so much like the basketball.
We'll go live after Auburn's games next week. But as far as seeding and position in the postseason, I don't think it'll have an impact, much like the SEC tournament in basketball. So take that for what it's worth. But yeah, let's just make it easy here. Like Petrovic, go out and absolutely deal tomorrow. See if you can get 6 or 7. If we need to go, Chatterton for an inning and then put in Hetzler, great. Let's just get it done tomorrow.
Does Lucas Steele catch him tomorrow, you think? Isn't that his personal catcher?
It's what we've seen a lot this year, right?
Freilich slides over to DH and Gregorio
I don't have an issue with that.
Yeah.
Did Gregorio do anything yesterday?
No, he had a really good Georgia Tech game against Georgia
he was
Tech.
0 for today. He got hit by a pitch tonight, but
you can't have your designated hitter sucking as bad as he has hitting the ball. He's in the 100s, I think. You can't have that.
Right. So I have no issue with that at all.
Yeah.
No issue with that at all.
Yeah, it's we'll see. I think an explosion could be due tomorrow. A very good output, and see if Petrovic can just hold down the fort a little bit. One thing Cormier did tonight was save that bullpen. So whatever arms you need tomorrow, you can run them out there and try.
Shout out Jackson Sanders for yesterday. Shout out LJ Cormier today.
Exactly. So
Christian says tonight's top of the first felt like last week's Mississippi State game. Yeah, good point. It wasn't. It was just a different pitcher, right? Glad we didn't pack it in at least. Yeah, I agree. Good point.
Yep. They know what the mission is.
Aubinator saying Petrovic will throw a no-hitter tomorrow.
You throw a no-hitter against this team, and
One of the best performances in the history of the sport.
Yeah.
Georgia's offense is incredible. Tonight's game went how I thought last night's game was going to go, like 7-9.
Yeah. And, I guess you really can't throw too much into midweek games, even if they're rivalries. But I was in that wait and see mode with Georgia to see really if I was a believer or not, because Georgia Tech boot stomped them.
Yeah, they've won too many games.
Yeah. So
they're unbelievable.
They just they can beat you 3 different ways, and that's dangerous. They flash the leather. They've got decent pitching. Now they're bullpen suspect, and they can absolutely rake the baseball. I mean, they can.
They're a good team. They're a good team for sure. All right. So we'll it might be me and Lindsay, but yeah,
yes, you and Lindsay
will be
tomorrow.
live after tomorrow afternoon's game. I think it starts at 2. So
I've enjoyed it. I love talking a little baseball.
I hate you didn't get to talk about a win. Hopefully,
I hope I'm not bad luck.
I hope
I'm not bad luck.
Yeah, that's okay. It's all right. How can people check out everything you've got going on?
I'll be back on with bad luck Darrell, like good luck Chuck. I'll be back on with you next week, Wednesdays and Fridays, and then Sunday night a little live after Big Cat Weekend. We'll see what we can shake, what falls from the tree.
What is your hat from? Faith Over Fear. What is that from?
It's just a website that has stuff like that, inspirational messages.
Love it.
So yeah,
love it. Please like the video. Please subscribe. We'll see you next time. This has been Locked On Auburn.